So I've rubbed this picture in, and I want to focus on the background here, and I want to create the illusion of sand being stirred up and, you know, turbulent water and things like that. And if you've ever had a look at that, you'll notice that there's light penetrating into certain parts of the water, and then the sand will diminish beneath the surface. So there's this lovely opportunity to create the illusion of dimension there. But it can be really, really complicated. So what I've done here is I've just kind of gone through and brushed in a few patches of color here and there, and I'll do more. I'm happy to work over the top of this pandanus tree because it's reasonably well established. So you might wonder why I've gone to all the trouble of putting all of that color in, considering I'm going to paint over most of that. Just because I did. I can't answer that. But you know, I kind of feel it's just part of the process, you know. It doesn't always have to make sense. I bring this up because what I've done is I've broken the process down into a few manageable pieces. So for example, I blocked in the background, roughed in the tree, and now I'm going to come back and put these patches of colour here and there, and then I'll come back after that and split them and separate them by putting suds to create the illusion of water, you know, sort of turning over and sand being stirred up. So I've thinned out some free flow, and I'm just going to go through with the white and sort of establish some areas of suds where it's kind of really solid and thick, and leave a few patches there where you can kind of look through the, you know, the water that the air's started to come out of, and so you sort of see down into the water a little bit. And you'll notice that I'm holding my brush on its edge like that to kind of create that flat plane there. And it might appear that I'm kind of being a bit haphazard with the way I apply the brush, but I'm still being a bit mindful about, you know, where I put the paint and how and why. But this is one of those processes where you've just got to strap yourself in. So I'm going to be here for a while. So what I've done here is I've thinned down some free flow. Free flow is great because it covers really, really well, but I've thinned it down, and it makes the process a bit slower in some ways, but it speeds it up in some ways, in that with this thinner paint, if I go over something that I've already done, it re-establishes it, but it kind of gives everything a bit of depth. And if I go back over it like that, and thin that out in certain places strategically like that, kind of looks like, you know, the whitewash is a bit aerated in places. And then of course if I come back later, this hasn't dried, but do this again and re-establish this again, you end up getting that lovely depth and lovely kind of layered effects of all of those little bits of sud twisting and emerging up out of the water. It's sort of an easy way of getting nice layers in there. And of course you can come back later and put, you know, glazes over the whole thing like that strategically here and there, and starts to get some depth. So I'm just building up the major parts of this painting now, and I've basically got to go away to painting land for a while, so I hope those tips that I've already shared with you are quite useful, and maybe you'll see this picture somewhere on the internet somewhere.